Chapter 16. Abolition or Union? Confidence in Jefferson Davis begins to wane. The loss of Vicksburg is a huge blow to the Confederacy. In the North, the debate over the war's objective continues. Lincoln defends his policies, and in particular the proclamation, as the only way to save the Union. Democrats insist the war is about abolitionism and therefore not worth the cost. February 1st, 1864.
I am one of those who believe that it is the mission of this war to free every slave in the United States. I am one of those who believe that we should consent to no peace which shall not be an abolition peace. I look upon slavery as going the way of all the earth. It is the mission of the war to put it down.
I have seen no action that does not indicate the purpose of the enemy is to refuse all terms to the South except absolute, unconditional subjugation or extermination. Have we not just been apprised by that despot that we can only expect his gracious pardon by emancipating all our slaves, swearing allegiance and obedience to him and his proclamations, and becoming in point of fact the slaves of our own Negroes?
Protest, affirm, hope, glorify as we may, it cannot be denied that abolitionism is still unpopular in the United States. It cannot be denied that this war is, at present, denounced by its opponents as an abolition war. And it is equally clear that it would not be denounced as an abolition war if abolitionism was not odious. I hold that it is an abolition war, because slavery has proved itself stronger than the Constitution. It has proved itself stronger than the Union, and has forced upon us the necessity of putting down slavery in order to save the Union and in order to save the Constitution. I therefore call this just what the Democrats have charged it with being, an abolition war.
There are those who are dissatisfied with me. To such, I would say, you desire peace, and you blame me that we do not have it. But how can we attain it? There are but three conceivable ways. First, to suppress the rebellion by force of arms. This I am trying to do. Are you for it? If you are, so far we are agreed. If you are not for it, the second way is to give up the Union. I am against this. Are you for it? If you are, you should say so plainly. If you are not for force, nor yet for dissolution, there only remains some imaginable compromise. I do not believe any compromise embracing the maintenance of the Union is now possible. All I learn leads to a directly opposite belief. To be plain, you are dissatisfied with me about the Negro. Quite likely, there is a difference of opinion between you and myself upon that subject. I certainly wish that all men could be free, while I suppose you do not. Yet I have neither adopted nor proposed any measure which is not consistent with even your view, provided you are for the Union. You dislike the Emancipation Proclamation, and perhaps would have it retracted. You say it is unconstitutional. I think differently. I think the Constitution invests its commander-in-chief with the law of war in time of war. The war has certainly progressed as favorably for us since the issue of the proclamation as before. I know as fully as one can know the opinions of others that some of the commanders of our armies in the field who have given us our most important successes believe the emancipation policy and the use of colored troops constitute the heaviest blow yet dealt to the rebellion. You say you will not fight to free Negroes. Some of them seem willing to fight for you. Fight, then, exclusively to save the Union. I issue the proclamation on purpose to aid you in saving the Union.
March 1st, 1864.
There is also a growing peace movement in the South. No less than the Confederate Vice President Alexander Stephens reacted angrily when the lame duck session of Congress authorized President Davis to suspend the writ of habeas corpus, saying, "The bill is a blow at the very vitals of liberty. Far better that our country should be overrun by the enemy, our cities sacked and burned, and our land laid desolate, than the people should thus suffer the citadel of their liberties to be entered and taken by professed friends." For more on these developments, let's go to Danielle Burke in Richmond.
Carter, there are quite a few high-ranking Southern politicians who fear the war is already lost, and that Davis's policies of conscription, impressment, military despotism, and economic ruin represent a greater threat to Southerners than a reunion with the United States. Of course, President Davis will have none of such talk.
The advent of peace will be hailed with joy. Our desire for it has never been concealed. But earnest as has been our wish for peace, and great as have been our sacrifices and sufferings during the war, the determination of this people has with each succeeding month become more unalterably fixed. To endure any suffering and continue any sacrifice, however prolonged, until their right to self-government and the sovereignty and independence of these states shall have been triumphantly vindicated and established. The sole resource for us as a people, secure in the justice of our cause and holding our liberties to be more precious than all other earthly possessions, is to combine and apply every available element of power for their defense and preservation.